Hello, it's Andrea, and today I want to talk about something that sounds a little odd, but it's very heartfelt, and I will prove why. It was a tremendous blessing that Trump lost the 2020 election. What's made me think of this is that we could call July the month when we learned for sure, no longer just suspicion, how many forces were at work to keep Trump out of the White House. I won't go into great detail with them, but a few of them stand out, which is Trump's speech a couple of weeks ago, a week and a half ago, in which he actually laid out all the fraudulent things that happened. So we had China interfering, desperate to keep Trump from winning again. The Democrats went all out. They engaged in mass riots across the country to destabilize the country in the hopes that the president would respond violently and make himself disqualify himself from winning. So these were very profound forces. And just the last couple of days, Fauci's diary has been released, and that has shown us some pretty darn interesting things. And the one that caught my eye, it's shown us that he was a sociopath, profoundly narcissistic, but it's also shown us that he was working hard, not just for self-aggrandizement and to protect China, but also to keep Trump from winning a second term. So let me read you the tweet that caught my eye. This is from Tara Servatius. Damn. In early 2020, Fauci recorded in his diary how much he was able to make the stock market drop with his lie that COVID was 10 times more deadly than the flu. At the same time, in the same diary, he wrote that COVID wasn't any more deadly than the seasonal flu. While he was going on TV saying the opposite to terrify the public into shutting down the economy, it was all a lie designed to take out Trump's most formidable weapon for re-election, his booming economy. He was trying to destroy jobs, shut down the economy, destroy the stock market, all to keep Trump from winning. Otherwise, even as a sociopath, why would he have done that? This is very, very disturbing. But again, and it succeeded. It paved the way for the Black Lives Matters riots with all the pent-up energy of crazy people. It paved the way for everything, as did China's interference, the election machine chicanery. We don't really know what went on. Democrat states going to mail-in ballots only, which made cheating not just possible, but likely. The whole infrastructure of leftist America was dedicated to making Trump lose. And thank God he did. I know that sounds strange, but the Biden era was a very important time. It gave Trump a chance to shed all the people in his administration who were working against him, who were leaking to the media, who were partnering with the Democrats, who were slow walking all of his initiatives. He was able to shed all of them and come back to the White House with an extraordinary crew of people, disciplined, committed to the MAGA agenda, loyal, brilliantly intelligent, aggressive. His second term would have been a complete lame duck term, with Trump surrounded by people working against him. Even if they were sort of MAGA to begin with, they would have known that there was no future for them. And when he left the White House, a Democrat most certainly would have won. So they already would have been gearing up to make nice with Democrats. So you have that. The 4 years were extremely important to give Trump a chance to regroup. He turned himself from a lame duck into an incredible MAGA juggernaut. China desperately wanted him to lose because Trump always said China was our most formidable enemy. And they too paved the way for Trump 2.0, for Trump the juggernaut, for Trump the MAGA monster, for Trump the guy who has no fear because he doesn't care about a second term, personally, although of course he wants his legacy to continue. But he knows he's got some more time, so he came right out of the box and went after China's economy, which has been functioning to the detriment of our economy. It wasn't like he picked on China randomly. China has done everything it can to weaken and destabilize our economy, to sow problems around the world, to take over the South China Sea, to do the Belt and Road, to do COVID, all sorts of things. So a lot going on there. Trump also destroyed the DNC. The DNC worked really hard with the Russia hoax, with working with Fauci, with BLM to keep Trump from winning again. And now, as we know from the New York Times, the DNC is broke because of Trump 2.0. This was really, really important. And the other thing, it wasn't just that Trump came in again strong, but Doge cut off the spigot, because what's become very, very clear is that a large part of the entire Democrat fabric in America was kept alive by laundering taxpayer money back to Democrat, quote unquote, quote, grassroots groups. So this was a really important thing. Trump needed the time to regroup as Trump 2.0. The one other thing that happened is with Biden in the White House, leftists were able to let their inner freak flag fly. They were no longer making a pretense of normalcy to win over middle America. They thought they had won forever. They thought they could imprison Trump. They thought they could keep him from running again. And they thought that all the institutional election manipulation they had put into place would keep a Republican from ever winning again. And so at the end of the Biden era, they stood fully exposed. And at that time, they could maybe have regrouped, crawled back into the cave, and tried to be normal again. But Trump derangement syndrome 2.0 is even more crazy than the first round. And so they've become even more flagrant. The DSA is out there saying it wants to do away entirely with our entire Constitution, with our Supreme Court, with the Senate, with prisons, with the rule of law, with private property, with the free market. And we can see it all. The transgender movement peaked during Biden, and Trump is now using his money and his executive authority to take the last legs out from under it. None of this could have happened if Biden hadn't allowed the crazy to explode and Trump hadn't regrouped with a powerful administration. I think I've made my point. I don't think I need to hammer it home anymore. In a weird way, Trump having lost, best thing that could have happened to America. Now, let's just hope he stays the course and that we stay strong and that ordinary Americans can override the institutional corruption in elections and in D.C. So Trump, stay strong. Senators, power through. You're the ones who want the Save America Act. You're on the side of truth, justice, and the American way. And on that cheerful note, thank you so much for joining me. I always appreciate it.